Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is Saturday morning. As always, a coffee kind of morning. Hope everyone's doing well. I had a blast doing my Deep Purple series. I think over 5 or 6 videos, going through their studio albums, ranking them from least to favorite. A lot of great comments. Thank you so much for everyone who commented. I appreciate that. And I want to continue that series. A great band you need to listen to, definitely, because it's a lot of fun. And I love going back and rediscovering bands and artists in my collection. So today I'm going to continue that series with this great progressive rock band that perhaps there is talk on the BC about these guys. I don't hear a lot. And if there is, I apologize. But it is Kansas. Great band you need to listen to. And I'll discuss the albums that I have in my collection. I don't have all their albums. I think they've got 22 studio albums. But I'll show you what I have. And just talk a little bit about the band. And yeah, I wish I could play music because it's a great band to definitely need to listen to. So as I push towards 1,000 subs, I'm at 933 this morning. 67 more to go. Please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. I greatly appreciate it. I want to continue to put great content out there to be informative and to show you guys some great bands and artists that I have in my collection. It's because of you guys, your likes, your subscriptions, your wonderful comments that keep me going, keep me motivated to do this kind of thing, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for everyone's support. I love you all. And again, 67. So take all your friends, come on over, like and subscribe. And let's reach that goal of 1,000 subs. That's my ultimate goal this year for sure. So Kansas, definitely a great band you need to listen to. American progressive rock band, art rock band, arena rock band from Topeka, Kansas. Started in '73 and still going strong today in a different shape and form, obviously, than their original lineup, but definitely still rocking it out. And I'll be looking at mainly their mid to late '70 most successful period of the band, because that's the majority of the albums that I have. So they really rocked it out from '75, I think, to '79. And hit their peak. They were just top of the world. So these guys can be progressive as any other band. They can also rock it out like any other band as well. Of course, they've got big hits like Dust in the Wind, Carry On Wayward Son, Point of No Return. Just remarkable. They appeared on the Billboard charts for over 200 weeks in the '70s and '80s. That's remarkable as well. They sold out arenas and stadiums all over the world. Carry On Wayward Son was the second most played track in classic rock radio in 1975. That's just how big that sound was. And unfortunately overplayed, as most great tracks are, but still sounds fresh today. Now, I don't have all their studio albums, but I do have most of their popular ones, as I mentioned. So I'm missing their self-titled Kansas, their debut album from 1974, which I haven't seen in the wild. I hope to find it one day in the wild. And their second album, Songs for America, 1976 release. If I could find those two, I'd be happy camper for sure. But I do have their third. This is Mask. Cool cover. There's the band there. So you've got Phil Earhart on drums, the amazing Steve Walsh on lead vocals, keyboards, and synth. Kerry Livgren on lead and rhythm guitars and keyboards. Robbie Steinhardt on violin and lead vocals. Rich Williams on lead guitar, and Dave Hope on bass. What a great lineup this was. Now, that lineup stayed constant for a number of years as the band went through their successful period. So Mask in their third album, released in 1975. A couple of great singles off of this one. It also hit number 70 on the charts. So it takes a woman's love to make a man, All the World, and Mysteries and Mayhem. Just to name a couple of singles off of that one. But a great album nonetheless. It's not, of course, their commercial success as their next two, but pretty darn good album for their third release. And then we have the I'm getting ahead of myself here. Then we have this amazing album, Left Overture. I love that cover. That's my screenshot actually for the band. And there's a better picture of the band there. This was a hugely successful album for Kansas. 1976 release. And at the time, their highest charting album. It's on the Columbia label, this one here. Of course, Steve Walsh, amazing vocalist. Just awesome stuff. So, 5 times platinum on this one. Includes the big hit Carry On Wayward Son. Most of the tracks are written by Kerry Livgren, who is a remarkable writer and player in his own right. You got The Wall, Magnum Opus, Cheyenne Anthem, and another great album with the same lineup as Mask. So fantastic stuff. Now we have probably their biggest album, Point of No Return. I love how they spelled no on that one, like you know it. And huge album for the band. So you've got Point of No Return. You've got Paradox, The Spider, Portrait, He Knew, Closet Chronicles, Lightning's Hand, Dust in the Wind, probably their biggest single, which resulted in Kerry Livgren was practicing and just playing some cool little licks, and his wife liked what she heard, and she said, "You should write some lyrics to that," and it turned out to be Dust in the Wind, their biggest hit ever. Sparks of the Tempest, No One's Home, Nobody's Home, and Helpless Human. So just goes to show you just a little, how greatness can be created through a simple act as practicing your craft. But fantastic album. Their 5th album by the band, 1977 release. I don't know what else to say about this one. It's fantastic. Huge album. And it created the arena rock band that these guys were known for. And between 75 and 79, they released, of course, Mask, Left Overture, Point of No Return, and Monolith, which I'll talk about next. Monolith is their 6th studio album, and another great album. They continued their success with this one. Not as commercially successful as Point of No Return and Left Overture. It's hard to keep that momentum going, but it would be the 3rd album to have a top 10 ranking, which again says a lot. But it didn't quite hit the same level because it didn't have any big hits on it. But you've got People of the South, South Wind, Reason to Be, Angels Have Fallen, Away From You. The same strong lineup as before with Steve Walsh, Kerry Livgren, Rich Williams, Robbie Steinhardt, Dave Hope, and Phil Earhart on drums. But again, it's hard to keep that momentum. So up until the sixth album, these guys were at their peak. So again, those four albums between 75 and 79, Mask, Left Overture, Point of No Return, and Monolith, would be their most successful era. And their most creatively as well. Just remarkable stuff. So jump ahead to 1986. And again, I'm going by the albums that I have in my collection. I'm missing quite a few. But this is Power. Another great album. It's on the MCA label. Another great album. It's the 10th by Kansas. New lineup for the band. You got Phil Earhart on drums, Rich Williams on guitar, Steve Walsh on lead vocals and keyboards, Steve Morse, the great Steve Morse, who is now with Deep Purple. He was with the Dixie Dregs. Amazing guitarist. And Billy Greer on bass. You got Silhouettes in Disguise. You got Power, All I Want, We're Not All Done, as some of the singles off of this one. More of a hard rock album than a progressive album. Some of the earlier stuff, but still overall a good album. You got to give it a couple of listens, but you get it pretty quick. And with Steve Morse in the lineup, it just added that extra oomph that they were missing without Kelly Livgren. Look, he was a remarkable artist, but Steve Morse, he just does what he does. Next, I got their 11th studio album. This is In the Shape of Things. Cool cover on that one. This is the MCA white label. Shape of Things would be their 11th studio album. It's a concept album. It's a concept album about the flood hitting the Neoshe Falls, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in Kansas in 1951. It's also be the first album not to release a single. It didn't do that great commercially, but they did play one song that was constant on MTV, Stand Beside Me. And again, another one you have to listen to a few times to really grasp it, but in the end, once you do, it's a pretty darn good album. So beyond that, that's my last studio album I have of these guys. Overall, they would create, I said 22 earlier, I apologize for that. I still have Deep Purple in my mind. They would produce 16 studio albums, their latest in 2020. And again, during the mid to late 70s, they were at the top of the world and their most creative as well. Fantastic stuff. I do have a great live album by these guys. This is Two for the Show. It is a double album released in 1978, recorded over three tours between 1977 and 1978. It's their first live album, and includes the classic lineup of Steve Walsh on keyboards and vocals, Robbie Steinhardt on violin and vocals, Kerry Livgren on guitars and keyboards, Rich Williams on guitar, Dave Hope on bass, and Phil Earhart on drums. And of course, it's got all the big hits. There's some great photos of the concert there. What do you got on here? You've got Song for America, Point of No Return, Paradox, Icarus, Born on the Wings of Steel, and then on side 2 you got Portrait, He Knew, Carry On Wayward Son, Journey from Maria Braun. And then you got Dust in the Wind, which is acoustic guitar solo. Then you've got a piano solo, Lonely Wind. Mysteries and Mayhem, excerpts from Lamplight Symphony and The Wall. And then on side 4 you've got Close Chronicles and Magnum Opus. A great, great live album by the band. And I love that cover. The two maids checking out the album. So there's my look at Kansas. Great band you need to listen to. Definitely check these guys out. Especially that creative year between 75 and 78. Fantastic stuff. Definitely a great band you need to listen to. Have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. Love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.